Yeah, I know. You're probably wondering, who is that obnoxious guy yelling, "I love you, Solo"? Well, that person was me. And today, I will be sharing my personal experience at my very first wrestling show, which happened to be WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and relax, because we might be here for a while.
Out here in the field, I pop for my meals.
What's good, YouTube? It is I, DanWrLD, and I'm here to talk to you about my experience at WrestleMania 41! Would you like a Gushers? Listen, everybody loves Gushers. But anywho, I'ma keep it a stack with you. That was the greatest event I've ever been a part of. And honestly, that whole week of me being in Las Vegas was one of the best, if not the best, no, the greatest time of my life. So by the time y'all see this video, it'll be maybe, what, Monday or Tuesday, April the 28th or the 29th. But man, I had to take a week off because that jet lag from the West Coast going to the East Coast and going from the East Coast to the West Coast is different. So y'all know me. I always say I'm gonna keep it a buck, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't have any video of me leaving the airport, going to the airport, leaving from the airport to go to my Airbnb, or leaving the airport to go home. I ain't got none of that. And the reason why is cause, bro, that shit was strenuous. So for people who don't know, I've been to Vegas before. The first time I went to Vegas was back in 2017 for my 21st birthday. But anyway, this time going to Vegas was something different. One being that it was my first time going on a trip all by myself. Like, I had no friends, I had no relatives, no family members, nothing. It was just me, myself, and I. Now, the place I was staying at was the Desert Rose Resort. Now, it's off the strip, but it's close to the Allegiant Stadium where WrestleMania was taking place. So if I wanted to, I could have walked there, but nah. Once I got to my Airbnb on Monday, I just chilled and ordered groceries. By the way, I strongly encourage people who are going on trips for at least a week to order groceries. Do not try to order out every day. That shit will cost you. But anyway, that Monday, that Tuesday, and honestly that Wednesday, I really just chilled. I went shopping. I went to the Nike outlet. It was a really cool experience. The people down there were cool. And honestly, it wasn't that hot. People thought it was going to be like 90, 100 degrees. It was really good weather down there. But that's not the reason why y'all came to this video. Y'all want to know how my WrestleMania experience was. And to be completely honest, it all started on Thursday. Now, during the week of WrestleMania, there's a lot of activities that you can get involved in. There are indie shows, WrestleCons, Wrestle Talks, live podcast shows, you name it. But it was one event that I wanted to go to just have an experience there. And it's called WWE World. I mean, come on. World is literally in my name. Why would I not even try to go? But anyway, WWE World is an event that's usually at the convention center in the city that WrestleMania is usually held in. And I'm not gonna lie, man, if I had a nickel for every time I said I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be a rich man. WWE World was so tough. It was like a Comic-Con, but just WWE related. And I'm telling you, WWE World had everything. They had a ring in the middle of the room. They had a spot where you could do entrances at. They had interviews with legends and current WWE superstars. They had a spot on the other side of the room where they was doing trading cards and auctions and all that. I even got to see my glorious queen, Charlotte Flair. Woo! Like, they had everything. This was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And going back to that ring, bro, I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, they have a ring in the middle of the whole, like, room. I'm thinking it's just for shits and giggles. But lo and behold, we're getting a whole wrestling match. And I would have recorded the match, but my phone was dying. And I wanted to preserve the life that it had so that way I could get more moments. And then this happened.
Okay. I'm a legend.
NANI? Acknowledge me!
Kind of ironic seeing Paul Heyman right beside Roman Reigns after what happened on night one at WrestleMania, but we'll get to that in a sec. Anywho, I had a great time at WWE World, and I strongly encourage people who have the opportunity to go to WWE World, do it. So I only went to WWE World on Thursday. They had it over the weekend. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, they had WWE World events. Like I said, I only went to Thursday because I had Friday, I was just chilling. Saturday was night one. Sunday was night two. And then Monday, I had a flight at 7 a.m. in the morning. Yachty yachty. But man, was I in for a treat during night one. So this is my view for night one. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't take any selfies because I was just in awe. The 8-year-old in me that fell in love with wrestling, that loved guys like Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, 20 years later will be able to watch one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time. The same WrestleMania that will be John Cena's last. The same WrestleMania that will be CM Punk's first main event. As a fan of both, man, this has a special place in my heart. But anyway, it was night one and I was ready to go. I would then watch Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, and Pat McAfee walk down to their desk, preparing for the show that we were all about to experience. Yes, it got brighter outside, don't ask any questions. First match, Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously by now we know who won the match. But let me tell you, Jey Uso's entrance live through the crowd,
sensational.
It's an experience that I'll never ever forget. And to quote one of my supporters, everyone was yeeting everywhere. You don't believe me? Take a look. And when Jay won, everybody was lit. Now I'm gonna speed run through these Jones because I kind of had the same feeling for all the matches, but I gotta talk about this one. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the biggest LA Knight supporter, but I will say this. That man's entrance live was crazy. But y'all know who won that match? Yaramin Fatu. Anywho, I saw my boy Ray Phoenix. I saw my glorious Queen Charlotte. And despite both of them losing their matches, they put on a hell of a show. But now it's time for the main event. Seth Rollins would make his entrance to a sea of woes. And I'm not gonna lie to you, listening to the woes on TV does not do justice to actually hearing them in person. The crowd was hyped, I was hyped. We were all waiting for this main event. Next, Roman Reigns comes out, and unfortunately I couldn't get it on film because my phone was at 7%. But you already know everybody was chanting Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. But then everything stood still.
Don't let these tattoos fool you. I'm a man of great discipline. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs.
What I'm talking about?
I'm straight edge.
This shit means
My
something to
addiction
me, man.
is wrestling.
Just hearing This Fire Burns brought me back to my childhood. And just when I was trying to record CM Punk's entrance, this happened. I ran out of storage. And just to make matters worse, that man Paul Heyman turned on my man. But that's a video for another day. Fast forward to the highly anticipated night 2, and you can feel the energy through the roof. Coming into night 2, I had to delete hella old stuff off of my phone. And just as a precaution, I didn't get a lot of film during night 2. But the film I did get, it was worthwhile.
Dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment.
Now, mind you, when Randy Orton came out, I'm sitting here like, damn, I really don't know who's going to come out to face Randy Orton and take him up on his open challenge. But then, this happened.
Who's it gonna be?
Holy
I just smiling ear to ear, bro, because I was not expecting Joe Hendry, bro. Like, that's crazy. The fact that a TNA wrestler, let alone TNA World Heavyweight Champion, was fortunate enough to get a spot on WrestleMania in the big 2025 is absolutely insane. Never in my 28 years of living on this planet Earth did I ever think this was gonna ever happen. And y'all better not call me Big Unk in the comments. But anyway, they had a good match. It was everything that I thought it would be. A quick match, yet still fun. But now it was time to go to the main event. Well, not just yet, because we were surprised by a special crash out. It was clear bro had 1 beer, what? 2 beer, what? 3 beer, what? 4 beer, what? A margarita, what? A Bloody Mary, what? A shot of whiskey. It was a good time seeing the rattlesnake, but it was time for the main event. And when I tell you that this had big fight feels implications, that would just be an understatement. Now look, I'm a fan of both of them. I love John Cena and I love Cody Rhodes, but take a wild guess who I was rooting for. First off, John Cena came out to this bland behind entrance, no colors, just black and white, and he used the bold Arial font. And I gotta be honest with you, that brother's aura was insane. But then you have Cody come out. Bro had a Tony Stark-esque mask on. Everybody was singing his song. And man, that brother's aura was insane as well.
Adrenaline in my soul, every time I got control, do it all to get them on the feet. The crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to stop the show. Out the red light.
I know, I should have gotten a whoa, but listen, my phone was about to die. But you know what's crazier than that? The fact that everybody in the crowd was singing Cody Rhodes' song just to start booing him before the match even started. And when I tell you those boos were loud, them boos were loud. Now the match was everything I thought it would be. Slow and methodical with a few high spots like the Cody Cutter and the Crossroads, but John Cena was really in control. And I know that The Rock not being at WrestleMania 41 was a huge quote-unquote flop, but when Travis Scott came out and you heard Fiend, 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 I ain't gonna lie, that was aura right there. To be honest, I thought he cooked them. But in the end, John Cena would go to break Ric Flair's record of having the most world championship wins in all of WWE history. And how ironic, he did it with a low blow. After watching John Cena win his 17th championship, all I could do was sit there and admire the story that I just watched. Admiring the fact that I went to my first WrestleMania. Admiring the fact that I got to witness John Cena's last WrestleMania. While also realizing the culmination of me being a fan for over 20-something years. WrestleMania 41 Live was genuinely the greatest experience I've ever had in my entire life. I encourage any wrestling fans to attend a WrestleMania Live once in your life. It is truly a life-changing experience, and honestly, I gotta go to another. But before I go, I gotta give a couple of shout outs and thank you. First off, thank you God, because without you, nothing is possible. Secondly, thank you to my Dukes, because without you, I don't think this would have been possible as well. Also, shout out to my grandma for letting me watch wrestling, even though she didn't like it and she thought it was weird. RIP Grandma, I love you. And shout out to y'all who watch me on the daily, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I appreciate y'all. Y'all allow me to share my thoughts and opinions on certain storylines, wrestlers, wrestling moves, etc. Y'all played a big part of me doing this video in the first place. So again, I thank you. If you like content like this or you want to see more of it, make sure y'all hit the sub button. Sub up to your boy. I'm close to 2K on YouTube. As well, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post a lot of videos there as well. But in the meantime, be blessed, stay happy, make sure you go watch some wrestling, and as always, yeet.